If you won't heal for yourself, if you can't be bothered to heal for yourself, then heal for your children.
Although we came from broken families, that doesn't mean that we have to pass on that brokenness to our kids.
Hello, my name is Chidima Obisadenu. I just watched the finale of Love is Blind season 6 and I cried big, ugly tears. I went from being very sad about the way Clay and Adie ended up
My heart is like broken.
to being very happy about the way Johnny and Amy ended up. And I think my body just couldn't handle the extremes. So I went online to see if anyone could give voice to how I was feeling, especially about the Clay and Adie situation. And I just couldn't find it. So you know what you do when you don't find something you need? You make it. So here we are. Clay all season has been telling us about how his father cheated on his mother.
Unfortunately, he was still cheating, Infidelity was a thing. Like I told you, my dad cheated year 7 into the marriage.
Apparently his parents were married 24 years before they got a divorce, and his father began cheating from year 7. His father even took him on some of his infidelity trips.
And my dad would take me with him to some of his infidelity trips.
He looks up to his father and he believes he's like his father in many ways. And he has a feeling that infidelity may not be an exception.
I don't want to be in a situation where I'm ever going to cheat. I think that's
And that's do you think that's the biggest thing is that you're going to cheat?
He's afraid that he doesn't have what it takes to be a good husband and potentially good father. And so he's not quite yet ready to be married.
And I'm very fearful.
See, a lot of us were very eager to finally meet this man who is key in shaping the way Clay is and how Clay sees the world. And we finally get to meet Clay's father on the wedding day. So Clay's father used to really be into athletics. He was quite good at it. He's reminding Clay about how when Clay was younger, he used to outrun Clay. He used to beat him all the time. And then one day, Clay got so good that he beat his father badly. He superseded him. And he was talking about how proud he is of his son and his success.
I wasn't out of shape. You were just,
another level.
You took your thing to another level.
Yeah.
When I first heard this story, I won't lie, I was hopeful. See, I extrapolated that story to mean that he was telling Clay, look, you used to look up to me, but now you have grown past me. You have superseded me. And now I'm the one living vicariously through you. So I felt that he was telling Clay, you are now a better man than I ever was. You are more successful, you have made better choices, and you can continue to make better choices than I have. That was my interpretation. I thought it was implied. But then I looked over to my hubby and he goes, he didn't say all of that. I was like, huh? He was like, he didn't say all of that. I was like, I thought it was implied. He was like, no. When it's important, you don't imply. You have to say the important thing. And truth is, he never made that conclusion. He never told Clay how he was a better man and made better choices and could make better choices than his father made. In fact, much of what we got from him were platitudes, just a bunch of things that sound good but mean not much.
You beat you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win but think you can't, it's almost a cinch you won't, right? If you think you'll lose, you've lost. For out in the world, you find success begins with a fella's will. It's all in the state of mind.
Like he was giving a pep talk before a race or sports event. And then Clay's father mentions how his own father, that is Clay's grandfather, used to be physically present but emotionally not present while he was growing up. And I was like, wait, what?
A lot of what I was sharing with you guys, and with sincerity, I didn't get from my father. Because my father wasn't, he wasn't present. He wasn't present. He was doing his own thing.
So Clay has been blaming his father for his shortcomings. And here we have Clay's father blaming the grandfather for his shortcomings. I won't lie, I was shocked to hear a man almost clocking 70 years in age blaming his daddy. You blame me, daddy? Like, dude, when are you gonna be grown enough to take accountability for your own choices? Would you blame daddy forever? So Clay and AD make it to the altar. They keep trying to joke off the awkwardness, like,
I love that we can just.
I know.
yeah, it's so cringe. It's cringy. Ugh. I like suffered secondhand embarrassment just watching it. Ugh. Anyway, AD says yes, Clay says no, and AD is shattered. She is heartbroken.
I just don't think it's responsible of me to say I do at this point when I still need work. I still need to get to the point where I'm 100% in.
And you see, even though it hurt AD, it was the right decision. Because Clay's father broke faith with his mother. He cheated on her almost throughout their marriage because he didn't take care of his issues. He didn't resolve the brokenness he got from an absent father. And now Clay is in danger of repeating this pattern because he hasn't gotten help. He hasn't healed the trauma from watching a father who didn't keep his marriage vows, who was unfaithful to his mother. So Clay made the right decision by not putting AD through that. And then we see the most mature and what I would call the most important scene that we've ever seen in the history of Love is Blind. Clay's mother confronts Clay's father about the past.
All of those emotions and twisted feelings, he took that to the altar. And a lot of that stems from things that you have to explain and then apologize. Don't make excuses, just apologize.
She tells him that Clay is afraid to make a long-term commitment because of the brokenness he had seen in their marriage. And so now, no excuses. His father needed to take Clay aside and explain some things and apologize for some things that he had seen as a child. And you know what we see? Oh yeah, Clay's father goes back to blaming his father again. It's like, dude.
I didn't necessarily have the best role models in my life.
I know.
You know, I can't ever remember my father ever being a part of my life.
Margarita, Clay's mom, she just looks aside, picks up a fan. You can tell that she has heard this story over and over again. It's good to seek healing for trauma you've experienced. But if you do not want to heal for yourself, if you cannot be bothered to heal for your own self, then do it for your children. Trauma is intergenerational. Fear is intergenerational. It passes from grandparents to parents to you. And if you do not heal it, you're in danger of passing it down to your own children. Break the cycle. Let it stop with you. Go to therapy. Go to individual therapy. Go to family therapy. Just do whatever you need to heal. This also applies to your fear of deep water. Majority of people who are afraid in deep water have at least one parent who is also afraid in deep water. The fear is intergenerational. And this makes sense. If you're afraid of something, it's natural that you're going to want to keep your children away from it. So if you had a sibling, a friend, somebody you knew, or if your own self had a traumatic experience around deep water, it only makes sense that you'll be trying to keep your children away from deep water to protect them because you love them. But it actually has the opposite effect. By keeping them away from water, you're depriving them of competence they need to actually save themselves if they find themselves in a situation in water. Water competency reduces the risk of drowning by 88%. As a parent, you need to make the decision to enroll your kids in swim classes even if you're afraid. Let the cycle of fear end with you. And you still need to tackle your fear of deep water. And here are 2 reasons why. Number 1, because it will be difficult to stand by if for any reason whatsoever you see your kid struggling in water and you don't have the ability, do not have the skills to jump in and intervene safely. And 2, because even when you enroll your kids, you may subconsciously sabotage their efforts without meaning to. It's hard to hide the wince on your face when they talk about deep water. It's the negative way you talk about water. It's the decisions you make around deep water that shows your fear. And your kids, they watch. They emulate what you think, what you say, and what you do. And so even when you put them in lessons, if you don't take care of your fear, you're still in danger of sending down those fears to your children. Do not unwittingly sabotage your children by staying afraid. We have a step-by-step course that teaches you to tackle your fear of deep water, learn to swim, and learn to self-rescue. Link in the description.
I was in this weird dating and I was just you know what? I don't know why I'm gonna get emotional, but I don't know why the same things keep happening to me over and over and over. And we had to dig deep childhood and a lot of systems from my father.
My heart breaks for 80. There was a time I used to ask myself this question over and over again. Why are the same things happening to me over and over again? Why am I dating the same guy over and over again? Different name, different ages, different stages in life, but it's the same guy. It's the same traits, it's the same behavior, it's the same emotional unavailability. And you know why? Because I had not at that time healed some of my deep attachment wounds. It was only when I went to therapy and dealt with those root causes that I was able to heal and be attracted to people who were emotionally available and be attracted to people who wanted to love me the way I love. 80 had a father who was distant. She yearned for him, but he was not present. And so she ended up feeling like she was not deserving of love.
You telling me your story about your dad and you kind of you were chasing a man to love you that just was not there.
Everything I had in my life I deserved and I got it and I worked hard for it. Everything except love. Really, truly something that I don't think I deserve.
And she's now repeating that cycle over and over again in her romantic relationships. She seeks out men who are emotionally distant, who remind her of her father. And she tries to prove to them that she's worthy of love. She tries to love enough for both of them. She tries to carry the entire relationship on her back. That would never work.
I showed him over this course of time the kind of wife that I want to be, the kind of woman that I want to be in his life, and I think that's what got us this far, to be completely honest, because without my confidence, we would probably be stuck in the pod somewhere.
You cannot love enough for the two of you. You cannot carry the relationship on your back if the other person is not willing to love you. It doesn't work that way. She needs to heal those abandonment wounds so that she can learn to be attracted to people who are willing to love her the way she loves and is willing to love. Those people are out there. She's just not attracted to them. They are out there. I can relate to 80 so much because you're here, you're like, I'm pretty, I'm smart, I'm funny, I'm a package and a half. And yet I can't seem to have the ones that I love me back. And no matter how high your self-esteem is, it starts to affect it after a while. Because just what's wrong with me? Why are the ones I'm picking up picking me back? For the long term anyway. You need to heal. And it's only after I healed that I was able to find my husband, who is the real deal. The real deal. But it takes healing. It's important. And you can see that she thinks that love is a battle. She has to fight for it. she has to earn it at the war front, because there's so much language around battle and war.
It's very rare that you see like people fighting for each other, but it's like when you find someone that will fight with you and fight for you, it's worth it for sure.
She's willing to like fight for me and like keep this relationship going. Cause I'm a lot to deal with. Even y'all being my friends, I'm a lot to handle and be around with on a daily basis. Anybody that's willing to fight for me, I'm willing to fight for them as well. So to me, it's like I'll go to war with AD because she's willing to go to war with me.
She thinks she has to battle and win in the war trenches to earn love. She needs to go to therapy and heal those abandonment wounds. That way she can give herself the opportunity to be attracted to the love that chooses her back. To be attracted to and to fall in love with someone who wants to love her back. Believe it or not, but healing fear of deep water is similar. It is difficult to learn to be at peace and to enjoy yourself in deep water if you have not healed the trauma of the negative experiences that you encountered in deep water when you were growing up, or the bad experiences that you or people you knew had around deep water. You have to heal that trauma first in order for you to learn to heal your fear of deep water and start to enjoy yourself in deep water. I hope we've learned enough from Clay and AD's situation to learn to love ourselves and our current and future offspring enough to heal the traumas that we carry now, the fears that we carry now. I know you may not feel fearless now, but hang with me and we'll get there together.